Football heritage. Athletic Bilbao 0, Man United 3. The most comfortable game we've had this entire season. After halftime, there wasn't a single moment where we thought, you know what? Are we gonna maybe struggle? Are we gonna blow this away? Last season we were relegated from the Champions League for this exact same reason. But now, 3-0 at Athletic Bilbao, who, by the way, guys, this is not Real Sociedad. They are not having a bad season. I've watched Bilbao play. Bilbao is a very good team. They're a very good team. What we saw in transition in that first 17 minutes, that's the real Athletic Bilbao. And do not get it twisted. They are a very effective side. You might not have seen it today. Athletic Bilbao is a very effective side. So the fact that we, in a European semi-final, could go to their place, forget the red card for a second. Forget the red card. We still went there, scored 2 goals before they got a man sent off. We scored 3. Mazraoui hit the post. Casemiro hit the post. Remember, Garnacho scored an offside goal initially as well. Technically, you could say we had 6 good chances. 3-0 away from home is a good result anyways. Especially when it's a knockout game, especially when it's a semi-final. You win 3-0 at Athletic. The odds are the next thing coming is a European final for you. Are we going to lose 4-0 at Old Trafford? You think no. Would we even lose 3-0? I would argue, I think we will get at least 1 goal at Old Trafford. If we get 1 goal at Old Trafford, they need to score 4. Considering how we're doing defensively, this second part of the season, the biggest trouble, even though we've conceded goals, has not been our defense. It's always been our attack and our goalkeeper. Today, Onana didn't have to make a save. No problems. Today, Højlund linked up well. Garnacho did his part. And out of this entire team, it was only Dorgu and Ugarte who were actually struggling. Who, for the initial parts, were losing the ball under pressure. And whenever Athletic Bilbao pressed, you know what? They lost it in clumsy situations, ball turnover, and we were in trouble. If Iñaki Williams scored when he got that chance, we're talking about a very different game. We don't score 3. They already score 1. They might double their lead. It's at their home. Fans get up for it. And then the game goes away from us. We cannot do what we want to do. But this game actually went perfectly. And the number one talking point of this game is probably, even though we scored 3 goals, it's not the red card. It's not the 3 goals. It's not any of the goal scorers. It's the referee, right? Now, if we were to be 100% objective, was the referee on our side? He was. But I don't care. You don't care. Because you know why? The same thing has happened against us countless number of times. That Arsenal game in the FA Cup, which despite everything, we still won. That referee was definitely on Arsenal's side. They gave a penalty that wasn't a penalty. They gave a red card that wasn't a red card. He kept giving fouls to Arsenal that weren't fouls. We still won. So it's not impossible to win even if the referee is against you. When you're at home, when you're 4th place in La Liga, you'd expect a lot more. Especially when we played on Sunday. Bilbao didn't even play this last weekend. So they've had a longer rest. They're also performing at a higher level in La Liga. Just let it sink in. We are in a European final. Now, I know some people might tell you, you know what, we got to be safe. We got to think about, what might happen. Maybe Bilbao could come back. It's not happening. It's not happening. We have reached a European final. 14th place, 15th place, people can say whatever. Liverpool, okay, they won a Premier League, but they're not in any European final. Arsenal is not making a European final. It's going to be Spurs, Chelsea and United. Spurs and United, who are not even going to finish in the top half of the Premier League, are going to be in the Europa League final. So one of these 2 teams who finish below 13th are going to be in the Champions League next season. One of them will be playing in the Super Cup final as well. So this is the situation we've got ourselves in. Everything bad that has happened this season, if we did not beat Lyon, we could be screwed, not for just this season, we could be screwed for seasons coming. This could be 5 or 10 years coming. Why? Because the financial situation is such, if we don't get Europe, if we don't get Champions League, it's not just the players that we can't sign, but there's other costs, renovation costs that are going to pile up, and then we need to pay that off. We cannot do that if we don't get European football. And the best thing about today is this is comfortable. Now we can go back to our place. We got Old Trafford, we got Stretford, and we got the support to pull one goal in. On a big European night, it will be a celebration night, by the way. Because you know what? The main job is done. Like 90% of the job is done today. There's still the odd 10% because we have all seen Barcelona come back against PSG before. 4-0, PSG were up. And then Barcelona came back 6-1. But you know what? That was Barcelona. That was Barcelona with Neymar, Messi, Suarez. This Bilbao side, while Nico Williams is decent, Iñaki Williams is good. Sanchez, if he's back, is a trouble. But all in all, I don't see them scoring 3 goals at Old Trafford. No reply. They could score 3, but we will at least score 1. Which is why I think we are in a European final. Like it or not, we are going to be contesting in Bilbao again in a month's time for the Europa League final. Now, what happens in that Europa League final is going to determine our future for the next 2, 3, 5 years. More like when we win against Tottenham Hotspur. We can sign many players that we didn't think we had access to in the first place. At the same time, we are in a much better position. At the same time, we have won a trophy for the 3rd year running. If we do, that is. If we do. We have won a trophy, or we have at least reached a final for the 3rd year in a row. 4 finals in 3 years. And these 3 finals under 2 different managers. Ten Hag and Amorim. 2 managers, you'd argue, you know what? They're not the best. They're not the best. And most of the fan base wanted Ten Hag out. Part of the fan base want Amorim out. So you'd argue these managers aren't even world class like that. But still, we are getting to European finals. This is what I said at the start. Football heritage. It just happens. Things happen for a reason. Certain clubs have this luck. How did we come back against Lyon 5-4? At 2-4, we were out. But there was no point where even I thought that there was no chance we were going through. I was already preparing at that moment. When we were 2-4 down, I was thinking, you know what? Okay, what's next? We're not in Europe. We've been embarrassed at Old Trafford. The repercussions coming up were going to be so bad. And that's all we could prepare for. And then out of nowhere, right, there was nothing going for us. And then Casemiro gets a penalty, Bruno scores, and then, the Kobe Mino, Harry Maguire thing happens, and then we win 5-4. It does not happen for everybody. Certain clubs stay the way they are historically. United always have this clutch gene. They might fail sometimes, but if United are in any final, it can be an FA Cup final, it can be a European final, you'd back United to do it. Why? Because historically they have history. United and Spurs play, United are going to be favourites. Spurs can be scoring 100 goals in the league. United are favourites just because why? European heritage. The fact we haven't lost a game to this day in the Europa League this season, we have not lost a single game. Okay, imagine that. Out of all the teams in the Champions League, in the Europa League, in the Conference League, there's only one team that hasn't lost any games. And it's us. Like, what are the odds? The season we're having in the Premier League, and we still haven't lost a single game in the Europa League. And you might say, you know what, maybe we had easy teams. But look at the teams that we've played throughout this entire run. So this is from match day 1. We had Fenerbahce, we had Porto, we had Steaua Bucharest, which is a difficult place to go to. We had Pilsen, we had Rangers, Bodo Glimt, who's in a European semi-final. And then you take it to Sociedad, Lyon, Athletic Bilbao, and when the final comes, it'll be Tottenham again. So we've had a very, very tough run. And if we win this, for Europa League standards, this is like when Madrid won their Champions League, when they played Paris Saint-Germain, when they played Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, when they played all the best teams possible and they won it anyways. It would be the Europa League equivalent for that if we do this. And we deserve it. You can say whatever we want, like, you know what, we're not playing progressive football, or we could have done this, done that. I don't care. At this point, for this season, next season, I will again prioritize how we play. Do I really care if we play attacking football to win the final or defensive football to win the final or even the second leg of the semi final? I don't care. I just want to win a trophy. For whatever has happened this season, we can put it all behind us if we win the Europa League this season and we qualify for Champions League next season. Because then that's new players coming in. That's Champions League football. We're playing against the best sides. League format, we always have a chance of making it through. We've already seen it this season. Even the smaller teams in the competition can actually make it, even if you're not that good. All in all, this was a comfortable game. The only thing, and this is really nitpicking, we could have maybe gone for number 4 in the second half, because we had second half of 45 minutes against just 10 men. We should have maybe ideally got another one, because that would have definitely sealed it like 100%. 4-0 away from home, Bilbao was not doing anything. They're still probably not going to do anything, but that completely seals the game off, and that's the only criticism, if I have anything. Other than that, Bruno was on point. Hoyland link up was decent. Nacho was causing problems, and Ahmad is back. Ahmad played 10 minutes. That was another positive. Kobe didn't even have to be used today. Like, we have a lot of positives. Even when we were 3-0 up around the 80th minute, I thought something has to go wrong, right? Because we never get a perfect game like this. From start to finish, it was the perfect game. Onana wasn't worked. We got a clean sheet. We won 3-0 in a European semi-final away from home. Red card, we could just pass around, so we didn't even have to focus on intensity in the second half. And against Brentford, I don't want to see any of the senior players other than maybe Ahmad, Kobe, and arguably De Ligt play. Because these three, just for fitness reasons, and the others like Casemiro, like Maguire, Mazraoui, Bruno, these guys should just be on the bench. We saved them, and you know what? See the game out next week at Old Trafford. Then after that, we manage everybody's minutes all the way up to Europa League final. Because when we reach Europa League final against Spurs, you might think, yes, we lost 3 times against Spurs this season. When it's a European final, it's a totally different thing. Why? Football heritage. That's Athletic Club 0, Man United 3, and see you all in the next one.